Hey, it's Matt. Welcome to another episode of Unbearable 73. This is going to be my reaction to Wheel of Prime Episode 6. Obviously, it'll be edited down so you don't see the stupid stuff like the FUs and all that. Let's just get into this. The faster we get into it, the faster we get out of it. So you shouldn't hear anything, but you should see subtitles and the timing. So you should, and I'm going to skip through the nonsense. There you go. When last we left off, our hero, Egwene, was captured by the Shanchan. That, of course, was a book event. So how much are they going to girl boss up Egwene in this one? Like, is she going to resist to the end? Like, they've already given her the Damane haircut and outfit. So let me say up front, that's not how it would be depicted. Basically, in the book, the effort to even do that would cause her to feel great pain and stop her. There will be no, like, shield effect. In Shanchan culture, the Damane, which is the channelers, are actually property. They're not people. I mean, the effect of being tortured, okay, is what they have to do. In the book, Jordan wrote this so much better. They just go straight in and dehumanize them to begin with, and he didn't depict any great amount of torture. He just wrote it just whether you know it occurred. The headpiece is stupid. The outfit is stupid. Lanfear is elegant, not this bullshit. This is some weird fetish Victoria's Secret bullshit outfit. And you didn't even. Why even bother with the gesture? You don't need. It would be much more effective if you just saw. Especially, she sort of looks and you see the bracelets open. I don't believe you, because I must talk with my jaw clenched. You think it's noble? I must talk with my jaw clenched too. This is the stupid plot of the TV show, of course. Now, mind you, she is literally the one who opened the door to the Dark One's prison. Now, she wasn't doing it for that purpose, but you can fairly bet that she turned very early on and very fast. She just told you what he's planning. This is stupid. In the book, Lanfear actually after Iran defeated Asmodean and cut him off from the protection of the Dark One, Lanfear then put a shield on him that Asmodean couldn't break, and Asmodean taught Rand. And since Asmodean was one of the Forsaken and had all the knowledge, this is going to be one of those where I edit almost everything out. Because there's fake Min with her stupid haircut. So, for the record, this is my second time watching this. So, I usually watch it first for myself, and then the second watch it with the questioners. But I did the questioners because of time. I did the questioners the first watch. So we had a conversation about the actors and actresses in here, and some of us agree we can't really blame most of the actors and actresses other than Rosamund Pike, because Pike claimed she's a big fan of the book series, but clearly let this happen to it, so she's not. I think the actress who plays Nynaeve, for example, is trying to do a good job, but she's given crap to work with. She's had a couple of roles before where she's gotten some good reputation out of, as one of the Power Rangers, for example. How she recognized that was just like, did she have like your Herbo vision or something? That's not how. That's bad writing right there. This scene didn't happen in the books. We meet this Aes Sedai in passing when after she's already been captured by the Shanchan. Our main character, Liandrin. So for the record, this scene right here may be the most stupidly, badly written scene in the whole series. Not the most offensive, just for the sake of, if you ignore the woke stuff, if you ignore the changes and ignoring Robert Jordan, if there was never a Wheel of Time book series, if Rafe Judkins made this whole series up, the bad illogical writing in this scene is the worst in the show. So Liandrin loves her son, and whatever her character arc is about her being a dark friend, about her betraying the light, about being a good guy or a bad guy or whatever it is, because he goes back and forth, all revolves around this character. Lanfear is about to kill the kid, and it doesn't make Leandrin hate Lanfear somehow. I mean, he's murdered your son. The servant of the dark murdered the son. And this is the second most offensive scene in the whole thing. Okay, Ogier are honored among the Shoan-Chan. All of the Ogier are part of the Death Watch Guard, and they're the gardeners for the Empress. And they're so honored that unlike all the rest of the Death Watch Guard who are property, they're not property. For them, like if the real Shoan-Chan saw this scene, right? Like if the Empress were there, if the book Empress were there, for example, walked in on this, she would have them all executed. It's garbage. Offensive garbage. But see, they should know this because some of those are of the blood, and they know that the Ogier are the gardeners who create the freaking royal gardens, among other things. See, what makes this even worse is the status of slave. There's different status of slave among the Shoan-Chan, and the status of slave for the ones who wear the robes like that are called dakovel. In the novel, they basically wear see-through outfits because it's pretty much indirectly indicated that they're basically free to be sexed by anyone who wants them to be sexed. Somehow they know this. Well, so what happened in the novels is Egwene had no steel to her before this, and surviving the Shoan-Chan experience, albeit it traumatized her and negatively affected some of her decision making in a way that a lot of people criticized the character for, it gave her firmament and steel. Like it toughened her up a lot. The whole concept of never again was big for Egwene. But this is going to be a case of where they drag a scene on over and over again way too long. Like, I could see 3 or 4 of these sort of Rhea, or whatever her name is, walking in there and, right? But what happened at the end of this episode with her should have happened maybe halfway through, after 3 or 4 of these, maybe 3 of these scenes, when Egwene finally gives in to the torture. Also, this is multiple days, right? So they're indicating that Egwene isn't drinking any water for several days. She'll be dead. I think it's like 3 days you can go without water before your kidneys shut down or something like that. Why are they walking like that? Like, why are they walking with ultra stiff shoulders? Robot shoulders. So now Min's a dark friend. We said this last episode. This is a stupid scene. Why is, like, Alana leading the warders who should be protecting her? Like, there's 3 of them. Like, 1 or 2 should be ahead and 1 behind, and I should be protected so she can use her power to help any of them, and they can use their martial skills. Oh, what a joke. What a freaking joke. There would be no temples to the Forsaken because there was no worshipping of beings like and that sort of stuff. 2, 3,000 years. 3,000 years. And the Aes Sedai didn't vaporize this place. The Whitecloaks didn't vaporize this place. Arthur Hawkwing didn't vaporize this place. That was the thing about the Forsaken, right? They still had the skills of the Age of Legends, right? And that was the main reason why they overpowered everyone in the modern era, even though there were comparable level channelers to most, not all of them, because the top level men were all basically Rand, who could fight with them. But now I saw this scene in the trailer. This is probably the 3rd most offensive scene in the whole thing. Like, number 1 most offensive is basically the Luz Therin Tallman character assassination from the last season. Number 2 is the Ogier being a dakovel. Number 3 is basically these schmucks accusing Alan Mandragoran of being a dark friend. A man who's waging a one-man war against the Shadow and is known for that before he even meets Moraine. And mind you, Lan is only here because they're forcing him to be with them. Lan had every intention of going off and doing something else away from them, but he's basically been threatened to be mind raped by Alana if he doesn't go. So that distorted voice is probably the show's version of the early appearances of the Luz Theron Telemann personality lurking around inside Rand's head. Now, mind you, book Lanfear, knowing that Rand had a thing for her and that they had sex, would just kill her. I mean, there wouldn't even be any, like, she'd be dead already. So I think they're doing this, okay, because in the book, Egwene is what's called a dreamer. She gains vast power in Telar and Riyadh. Now, she learns to do that skill as well as channeling skills from Aiel Wise Ones, who she spends quite a long time with, okay? So she gains a vast amount of skill learning from the Shan Chan, being a slave there. Then she goes and becomes a Wise One apprentice for 6 months or a year. We're not going to see any of the time with like, legitimately they should be spending 2 seasons with the Aiel, like, before we get to Egwene's major plot later. So I think they'll use this to awaken the dreamer in her, so to speak, and they'll have Egwene use that to girl boss her way out of the situation. This is another plot. I thought at this point, this would have been the resolution. Like, not even bother bringing this other woman up. Just having Egwene given to the torture, so we get to the point with our training over with, and then we can get. There's only 2 episodes left this season, right? So we should have the whole next episode be her being trained, so we should gain the skills, and as well as this episode, we should see all that, right? I mean, it's not like the daughter of Andor can't alert her mother to the problem somehow through a messaging service, which they have, and get a 50,000 man army to show up. This is a stupid storyline. Like, this is all soap opera drama. It has no bearing on any of the plot of the show. It's just for Moraine to be like, have soap opera drama with her sister and her nephew. All this is. There's no purpose to this. It never happened in the book, obviously. So in the book, her father died during her test to become Aes Sedai. But again, this is soap opera garbage. I mean, that's all it is. It's just, I don't even have the energy to scream and rant. I mean, other than some of the offensive things like the Ogier Dakovel, or finally, the Emerald Sea is seen in the show 6 episodes into the 2nd season. Whereas last Asmodean, I miss you. I liked Asmodean. He was a good, as far as a B-level character goes, in terms of story weight, I liked Asmodean. That is how you use Saidin. You grab it, hold of it, you bind it to your will, right? But Saidar is how you have to surrender to Saidar, which is the female half of the power. But this show has done nothing to indicate. Now, mind you, Rand is the main character of the series, and I believe this is the most he's done, most character progression episodes he's had since the 1st season. Nynaeve figures out how to unlock the collar. So they could have had her pour the water, succumb to the darkness, whatever. Then have a few more meaningful segments of her training, showing how she's gaining the powers. Maybe use that as storytelling for the show more of the Shan culture. Man, this episode drags. Maybe it's because I just don't care about the characters. I'll talk about that in my review. I mean, obviously I'm a downer on this show. I'm really just doing this to talk about conflicts between the show and the books, and how the books are great and the show sucks and all that. But it's like, but there's there's nothing in it. Like, there aren't even hot chicks. Like, you can attract your attention that way. So you at least, garbage showman just lays her out with her horrible haircut and pointless earrings. Why do they look like they don't bathe? I mean, characters in the show were bathed. They were clean. He has freaking dirt on his face. Bookman visions don't work like that. They always come to pass, even if not in the way she knows. So he can't avoid what she sees as killing Rand by avoiding him. Again, pointless soap opera garbage, has no bearing on the actual story. So this comes across as what happened at the end of the beginning of book 2. When the Admiral and her entire retinue showed up in Valdara, here's our main character who's indecisive. There's that oversexed bitch Alana. So I would open with the follow-up to that scene next episode, and I'm pretty sure Rand's gonna just overpower them. Just like fucking drawing the power and just like fuck that shit. So she hasn't had water in 3 days at least, so she should be dead. She should be like, her kidney should be shutting down. Really? Is that the special Damane have found you knock? Is it a code? Now, on a cost-benefit analysis, I mean, she's going to kill a couple of Damane. I mean, you'd think they would just kill her. Mind you, if I were an Iceland to capture for that reason, I would just pull enough power into myself to burn myself out. And just kill all the fucking Shonchan you can. She could do it herself just by drawing enough power in to kill herself with. Just keep drawing the power. So we're supposed to be saddened by a character we don't care about dying. And I could have sympathy or empathy if, this happened 20 minutes ago. Instead, they dragged it out and wasted time when they could put other scenes. This is just bad writing. Does it make you any more sympathetic for Egwene to have toughened it out and stopped that garbage? So that was my. I'm gonna want to edit this down to literally like a 5-minute video, maybe 10 minutes, because there's almost nothing to comment. Obviously, I have no enthusiasm. You guys can see for it. Well, that was my reaction. Sorry if it was lame, guys. It'll be edited down, so it won't be too long. And we got into my review. Like if you like, dislike, this is Matt from Unbearable 73. Share if you will. Thank you. Have any questions below? Ask them. Thanks.